right, hi third graders. If you're joining me, that's because you are awesome and you want to do a little bonus page with me. So this is in our Go Math book on page 717, and it's going to be good practice for describing lines of polygons. So open up your book to page 717, grab a pencil. If you're not ready, go ahead and hit pause and then hit play when you're ready. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at these 5 models, the pattern blocks, A, B, C, D, and E, to answer the questions. So we're going to look at them and categorize them depending on their lines. So it says Chelsea wants to sort pattern blocks by the types of sides. Number 8, it says which blocks have intersecting lines. So what you can do is you can take your pencil, and remember, intersecting lines we know cross. So you can take 2 lines from each shape and extend the lines and see if they would cross, because you just have to have 2. It says, do they have any intersecting lines? So on A, if you continued 2 lines, you would see that it would be intersecting. Let's try B. Pick any 2 lines and extend them. And you see that they are intersecting. On line C, okay, pick 2 lines, but you want to pick 2 lines on all of these shapes that, that form an angle, that touch. So on line C, you don't want to go to the sides that are across from each other. You want to go to the sides that are adjacent to each other, that actually touch, to see if they're intersecting. So for C, I'm going to extend this line and this line, and I can see that they are intersecting. For D, again, pick 2 lines that come to a point or an angle and just extend them, and you can see that they're intersecting. And then the same thing for E. Again, pick 2 lines that touch and make an angle and extend them, and you can see that they're intersecting. So for question 8, which blocks have intersecting lines? What's our answer? Okay, if you said all of them, you are correct. So you can go ahead and write all of them on the line. Okay, then I'm going to erase my lines. You can leave them there or you can erase them. And I'm going to look at number 9. It says, which blocks have parallel sides? Well, we know that parallel sides, just like in the word parallel, the 2 L's are parallel. They are the same distance apart from each other, and they're going in the same direction. They will never cross. So I want you to look at A, B, C, D, and E, and I want you to see if those shapes have parallel sides. So what you can do is you can pause this on video and take your pencil and look and see if there are opposite sides that are parallel, and then press play when you're done. Okay, so hopefully you have tried this out. What you're going to do is you can just take your pencil and find 2 sides that are opposite of each other and see if they are parallel. So for A, you could use any of those sides, but I'm going to use the top and the bottom, and I can see that they are the same distance apart, going the same direction. They're not going to cross. So A does have parallel sides. For B, there's only 3 sides. So I'm going to pick 2 that are across from each other. And you can see that they are not parallel, that they cross. So now I'm going to look at C. I can pick the top and bottom or the sides. I'm going to pick the sides. And if I were to continue those lines, they would not cross. So C has parallel sides. D, if I look at the 2 sides on the ends, the left and right side, I can see that if I continue them, they're going to actually cross. So those two lines are not parallel, they're actually intersecting. But let me try the top and bottom. If I do the top and then the bottom and continue it, you can see that those are parallel. And then for E, you could do either side, top or bottom, side to side, because it actually has two pairs of parallel sides. So the top, the two sides are parallel, and the top and the bottom are parallel. Okay, so when we're writing our answer for number 9, which blocks have parallel sides? You should have answered A, C, D, and E. B is the only one that does not have parallel sides. Okay, so again, I'm going to erase what I did and look at number 10. It says, which blocks have perpendicular sides? Okay, well, we know that perpendicular means that they are not only intersecting, but that they make a right angle where they meet. So perpendicular looks something like this. They are lines that cross, but they also make that right angle, that 90-degree angle, perfect box where they meet. So let's go ahead and look at the shapes. So again, if you want to do it on your own, press pause and try it on your own, and then press play when you've looked through them. Okay, I'm going to take my pencil, or my finger, and draw. It says, which blocks are perpendicular sides? So perpendicular means they cross. So there have to be lines that touch each other, that form an angle. They can't be on opposite sides of each other. Perpendicular lines cross, so they have to be next to each other. So I'm going to pick two lines that, again, make an angle and that touch. And I'm just going to extend them. So you can see A, and you can see this angle that it forms. It's not a right angle. It doesn't make a perfect L. It doesn't have the box at the angle. So is this perpendicular? No. Okay, so now let's look at B. I can pick any two sides that touch each other, that are adjacent, and extend them. And if you look, this does not make a perfect L. It's not a 90-degree angle. It's actually more than a 90-degree angle. So that cannot be perpendicular because it does not make our 90-degree angle. Then I'm going to go to C. And again, I'm going to extend two lines that touch. And you can see that they are intersecting, but again, they do not make a right angle. There's not a perfect L. This one is actually smaller than a right angle, and this one is bigger than a right angle. So now I'm going to look at D. Take two sides that touch and extend the lines. And again, you can see they do not make a right angle. This angle is smaller than a right angle, and this angle is larger than a right angle. So they intersect, but they're not perpendicular. Now let's go to E. Pick two lines that form an angle and extend them. And you can see here that when we extend those two lines, they cross, and they also form a perfect L. Okay, they form that right angle. So the answer to number 10 is what? You are correct. It's only the letter E. It's the square shape. Okay, again, I'm going to erase what I've done. And I'm going to look at number 11. Number 11 says, which blocks have neither parallel nor perpendicular sides? So that means they are not parallel and they are not perpendicular. So they can only be what? Good. They can only be intersecting. Okay. So we want blocks that do not have parallel and do not have perpendicular. just intersecting. Okay, so let's look at A. Did A have parallel sides? Sorry, let me go back to my pen. If you look at two lines that are opposite each other and continue them, you'll see that they don't cross. So A does have parallel sides, just like we said here in number 9, so it would not fit this description. Okay, how about B? Well, it does not have parallel sides because it wasn't in number 9. And it doesn't have perpendicular sides because it wasn't in number 10. Because when those lines cross, they are intersecting but not perpendicular. So B would fit that description. They don't have parallel and they don't have perpendicular lines, just intersecting. Okay, let's try C. Well, C, we remember the opposite sides are parallel. It's here in number 9. Okay, so it would not fit this description either. Letter D was also here for number 9. It has parallel sides, so it would not fit this description. And E has parallel sides, so it would not fit this description. So, which blocks have neither or neither parallel nor perpendicular sides? All right, if you said B, you are correct. So the triangle is the only shape that only has intersecting lines. No parallel and no perpendicular. Okay, all right. The two at the bottom are kind of a bonus one. Number 12, it stumped me for a little bit. I had to really think about it. So let's see if you can do number 12. It says on the box at the right, how many pairs of edges are perpendicular line segments? So pair of edges means, like they did in red, these two lines, this is a pair of lines, and when they meet, they make perpendicular line segments, meaning they would cross and they make a 90-degree angle. So with my pen, I'm going to show you. If I were to extend these two lines, they would cross and they make that perfect L, that right angle. We want to know how many of these angles would we find on this box. Now it's kind of tricky, but I want you to press pause and I want you to count how many angles are there where the lines meet and they form a 90-degree angle. So they've shown you 1, 2. So they've shown you 2. I want to know how many would you find all around this box. So press pause and see if you can find the answer. Okay. So I hope you pressed pause and tried to find the answer because I really want you to think about it. So when I tried to find the answer, I knew that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 sides to this box, and there's most likely a bottom to the box. So I found how many perpendicular line segments were on one side. So they gave me 2, and I know that this one is also 1, and this one is also 1. So I know that there are 4 of them on each side. Well, if this is one side, 2, 3, 4. So if I know there are 4 sides to the box, and I see 4 edges that are perpendicular on each side, I know there'll be 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, and 4 here, or 4 groups of 4. So I know 4 groups of 4 is equal to 16. But I also know there's a bottom to this box. And if I were to flip it over, I would probably find that there would be on the bottom also 4 angles that are perpendicular. So if I add 4 more to that 16, now I have 20. So my guess was that there would be 20 angles on this box. 4 on this side, 4 on this side, 4 on the back, 4 on this side, and then 4 on the bottom. But here's what I forgot, and I want to see if you thought of it. You also have the top. Look, where this side meets this side meets this side, and this side. So at the top there are 1, 2, 3, 4 more angles. So now I had to add 4 to 20, and the total amount of angles that make perpendicular lines was 24. So I want you to email me if you got that one right and let me know, or email me and let me know if that really confused you. Because like I said at the beginning, I thought, whoops, that it was only 20, but then I forgot about the angles at the top. Okay, and number 13, I think you should be able to get. It says, can the same two lines be parallel, perpendicular, and intersecting? And then it wants you to explain your answer. So think about it. Can two lines be, and I'll draw them up here in orange, red. We'll do that. Can two lines be parallel, perpendicular, and intersecting? Can they be all of them at once? And if you said yes, explain your answer. If you said no, explain your answer. Okay. So hopefully you answered no, because parallel lines will never cross. So if you have parallel lines, they cannot be perpendicular, and they cannot be intersecting because they would never cross. Now, perpendicular lines can be intersecting because they cross, but they can't be parallel. So if you have two lines, they can be intersecting and parallel, but they can't be intersecting and perpendicular, but they can't be intersecting, perpendicular, and parallel because parallel lines will never cross. All right, I hope you enjoyed this challenge. And like I said, shoot me an email and tell me how you did on that one question. All right, nice job, guys. See you soon.